So Muslims are claiming to me that this is a miracle in Surah Maryam where dates fell for Mary when she was hungry and she ate fresh ripe dates as it said. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you. What Muslims don't realize is there are a ton of foods that are good for you when you're pregnant. Could you be the one? Shh. Not only that, the Quran doesn't say eat dates when you're pregnant. It says that's what we gave her. She was in the Middle East and that's the food that was available for her. Allah's not going to give her a fried chicken sandwich or a KFC. He's going to give her dates, right? Or whatever was available. What do you find in the Quran? Pomegranates, olives.
Seen a lot of verses like these, saying that non-believers are cursed, they should be killed, they'll spend eternity in hell, etc. So how am I supposed to take texts like this? Are they taken out of context? Are they rejected? What? Because they are very troubling to read.
So in regard to the dehumanization of non-Muslims or disbelievers or kuffar in the religion, yes, it very much is a thing in the Quran. It's a consistent theme that's repeated over and over and over again, that the worst of people, the worst of creatures are the disbelievers, so on and so forth. It even commands Muslims not to be allies, or some people translate it as friends with non-Muslims. So yeah, definitely not a good source of morality. The Quran was born in a world in the 7th century where there was a lot of hostility among different religions and religious belief systems, and Muhammad, of course, was definitely very antagonistic against others. So that's what you find. In terms of actual physical hostility against...
So what do you think I've been doing all day? So I've read a lot of very disturbing verses. I've seen a lot of verses like these, saying that non-believers are cursed, they should be killed, they'll spend eternity in hell, etc. Or I guess they could be crucified or have their hands and feet cut off and exiled. These things are repeated over and over again throughout the Quran. Now, I will extend an olive branch to the Muslim community here, because I'm still very new to this and I have a lot to learn. So how am I supposed to take texts like this? Are they taken out of context? Are they rejected? What? Because they are very troubling to read. And the fact that they are repeated so many times over and over again is very alarming. So I am totally open to being wrong about this, if someone will explain it to me. What I will say that is, if this is where your morals come from, you definitely shouldn't be questioning where mine come from. But again, the floor is y'all's. Please educate me.
I often get asked about Muhammad's prophecies. How do I explain that some of the prophecies of Muhammad supposedly came true? Well, let's look at these prophecies. One of the most important things to look at when you look at a prophecy is it specific? Is it time-bound? And can it only refer to one thing? If it's not, is it useful? Ask yourself that. Here are some examples of prophecies I made up that are completely useless. A time will come when the hot will encompass the cold. A time will come when there will be much corruption on earth. A time will come when people's glasses will fall off their heads. Okay, scratch that one. A time will come when there will be masters giving birth to their slaves. A time will come when there will be widespread corruption and people will not return their trust. A time will come when there will be lots of usury and there'll be lots of music and there'll be lots of, none of these things are specific, time-bound. And it's easy enough for anyone to say, well, I made a prophecy, it came true, if someone says something like that. A time will come when the stock market will crash. Okay, that happens so many times. A time will come when there'll be a great virus. How many times has there been a great virus on the earth? None of these things are specific. Look at something called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. A Texas sharpshooter fallacy is when someone says, oh, this is the button. I'm going to hit the button right at the spot, right there. And then what the person does is he shoots the arrow, he hits the button, then he goes to the button and he paints the bullseye over where he hit it. And that's what a lot of times is happening with these hadith. Here we have the famous hadith Jibril, where Gabriel came to Muhammad in the desert and told him about the different things that were going to happen before the Day of Judgment. And one of the things he said was, a slave woman gives birth to her mistress, whatever that means. And when you see barefoot, naked, destitute shepherds competing in constructing tall buildings. Now, let's look at that prophecy. How many tall buildings do we have? Well, we have one, the Burj Khalifa. Who built it? Was it naked, destitute shepherds? No. These are rich Arabs. They're not destitute, they're not naked, and they're not barefoot. And by the way, who actually built the building? Non-Muslim architects. Famous architects, famous organizations from all over the world were involved in building the Burj Khalifa. It was not built by naked, barefoot, destitute shepherds. So that's debunked right there.